The Las Vegas Grand Prix delivered a jaw-dropping spectacle, and Mercedes found themselves smack in the middle of the drama. With Lewis Hamilton clawing his way from 10th on the grid, it seemed like the stage was set for one of his signature comebacks. Yet, as the dust settled under the neon lights, it was George Russell who stood victorious, leaving fans buzzing with questions about what really went down behind the scenes. The race quickly became a hotbed for speculation, with whispers of team orders and intriguing pit radio exchanges during those nail-biting final laps. Did Mercedes' strategy favour one driver over the other, or was it simply a case of letting their drivers battle it out? Either way, the tension on track mirrored the growing debates off it. Hamilton showcased blistering pace, relentlessly hunting down positions like a predator on the prowl. Meanwhile, Russell held his ground with a steely resolve, defending like his career depended on it. The juxtaposition of Hamilton's hunger for redemption and Russell's fight to prove his mettle painted a vivid picture of the razor-thin balance Mercedes faces between fostering teamwork and allowing personal ambition to flourish. In many ways, this race encapsulated the high-stakes chess game that Formula One has always been. But for Mercedes, the Las Vegas Grand Prix wasn't just about strategy or speed. It was a microcosm of the eternal struggle between individual brilliance and collective success. Starting 10th on the grid, Lewis Hamilton faced an uphill climb, but with laser-sharp focus and relentless pace, Hamilton began carving through the pack, reminding everyone why he's one of the sport's greats. His methodical charge toward the front wasn't just impressive, it was a masterclass in controlled aggression and pure racing grit. Meanwhile, George Russell seemed comfortably poised for victory. After his final pit stop on lap 32, he held a commanding 13.1 second lead over his teammate, yet Hamilton's unyielding pursuit began to erode that advantage. Each lap felt like a ticking time bomb as the gap shrank and the tension soared. Despite battling tyres that were 5 laps older than Russell's, Hamilton clawed his way back into contention. By lap 42, what once seemed like an unassailable lead had dwindled to just 5.3 seconds. As the race reached its crescendo, many expected Mercedes to pull the trigger on team orders, freezing positions to secure a safe 1-2 finish. But that call never came. Instead, the Silver Arrows chose to let their drivers battle it out, trusting their instincts and professionalism to keep the race clean. It was a bold decision, one that sparked plenty of post-race debate. Toto Wolff, unshaken by the speculation, addressed the issue head-on. Speaking to ORF's Alexander Wirtz, Wolff left no room for doubt. Yes, of course, I think they would have been smart enough not to crash into each other. The confidence in his driver's maturity and judgment was clear, even as the tension on track told a different story. Wolff was quick to downplay the notion that Hamilton had a legitimate shot at overtaking Russell in the final stages. George did it all the time, Wolff stated firmly. I think he was 12 seconds ahead before Lewis changed. That was never an issue. His words painted a picture of a calculated and composed Russell, managing the race with precision despite Hamilton's relentless charge. While some questioned whether Mercedes missed an opportunity to control the narrative, others applauded their decision to let both drivers push their limits. The lack of team orders wasn't just a strategy, it was a statement, showcasing the trust Mercedes has in its drivers to walk the fine line between competition and calamity. While Toto Wolff maintained a composed front, insisting the situation was under control, the pit radio painted a much more gripping picture. As soon as George Russell emerged from his final pit stop, the chess match between the Mercedes drivers began. Lewis Hamilton, sensing an opportunity, asked for lap time updates. His race engineer, Peter Bonington, calmly delivered the numbers, noting that Russell was carefully running in the tyres with a relatively slow lap of 1 minute and 37 seconds. But the calm facade didn't last long. Hamilton was lapping at a blistering pace, slashing the gap with surgical precision. On Russell's side of the radio, the nerves began to show. Hearing that Hamilton was eating into his lead, Russell broke the silence with a telling plea. "Tell me what to do. I'm still managing in these corners." The response from the Mercedes pit wall was as sharp as it was decisive. "We're fine if you stop managing the tyres," came the instruction, a clear signal that the time for caution was over. It was permission to unleash his pace and fend off Hamilton's relentless pursuit. In that moment, strategy gave way to raw racing instinct. Russell, now free to push, faced the immense pressure of holding off one of Formula One's greatest competitors. Meanwhile, Hamilton, still charging, knew the slightest hesitation from Russell could swing the pendulum in his favour. It wasn't just a race, it was a psychological duel unfolding in real time, with the pit wall acting as the silent referee. With victory in sight, Hamilton refused to relent, defying both his older tyres and repeated calls from Peter Bonington to to ease off. Meanwhile, George Russell faced mounting pressure as Hamilton's relentless pace was relayed to him over the radio. Among the updates, one message stood out for its calculated simplicity. Lewis's last lap was 35.9. We should do at least 36.2 to keep it boring. Beneath the cryptic wording lay a clear directive. Mercedes wanted to avoid the fireworks of an all-out intra-team battle. It wasn't just about speed anymore. It was about managing the tension simmering within the team. The high-stakes drama reached its peak with just 4 laps remaining. Hamilton radioed in, reporting a possible issue with his right front tyre. Whether it was a genuine problem or just a false alarm, it was enough to shift the balance. Russell, freed from the immediate threat of Hamilton's charge, could finally exhale. With the pressure lifted, he cruised to victory, sealing a momentous win under the dazzling Las Vegas skyline. For Mercedes, it was a masterclass in damage control, ensuring their drivers crossed the finish line intact. For fans, it was another unforgettable chapter in the story of Hamilton and Russell, a rivalry defined by skill, strategy, and the thin line between triumph and heartbreak. For George Russell, the Las Vegas Grand Prix was a masterclass in strategy and composure. The foundation of his victory was laid early as he fended off an aggressive Charles Leclerc on lap 4. That critical defense not only kept the Ferrari driver at bay, but also allowed Russell to take control of the race's tempo. It was a pivotal moment that set the tone for the remainder of his flawless performance. Once Leclerc and the Ferraris ducked into the pits, Russell had capitalized on his strong first stint to build an imposing 9.1-second lead. It wasn't just about speed, it was about precision, tyre management, and staying one step ahead of the chasing pack. We won the race in the first stint. It was really outstanding, Russell reflected after the race, his confidence evident. From then on, I knew the only way I could lose the win was if the tyres started to go. It was really all about managing the speed in the corners and bringing it home. There is a correlation, Wolff explained. Silverstone was good, then Spa, and now Vegas, and it was cold everywhere. The chilly temperatures allowed Mercedes to consistently bring their tyres into the optimal operating range, delivering an edge that their competitors couldn't match. Adding to their advantage was the smooth, flat asphalt of the Las Vegas circuit. This unique surface enabled Mercedes to deploy a stiffer setup, effectively sidestepping the infamous bounce issues that had been a thorn in their side on bumpier tracks. George Russell summed it up succinctly: "On flat asphalt we can fly." Despite the double podium in Las Vegas, Mercedes faces significant challenges ahead in 2025. The team's struggles on bumpy tracks and in warmer conditions highlight the need for greater adaptability in its car setup. "We need to find a better balance next year," admitted Wolff. "Other teams, like McLaren at Silverstone, have shown they can dominate in certain conditions. We need to achieve that consistency." Ultimately, securing victory with George Russell, a driver seen as the cornerstone of Mercedes' future, took precedence. For an aging and Ferrari-bound Lewis Hamilton, this race symbolized more than just points. It was a shot at cementing his legacy with a Las Vegas triumph. But for Mercedes, the priority was clear: backing their young leader to deliver a win that reaffirmed their faith in the next era of their dominance.